Eric, you have a very active kitten behind you. I thought they looked differently.
Recording in progress.
As you can see, I haven't solved the light problem that Eric has. Maybe I need a better camera. No? Less sun?
Yeah, Edji. Only thing, the light is reflecting from behind you, so even the best cameras will still be a problem.
Oh, look on Eric.
Ed, you also have a setting in your Zoom which focuses the background, and that's what's causing the problem.
Say that again now.
He's
I
muted.
can't hear you.
You went to mute, Ian.
You have a setting in Zoom which unfocuses the background, and that is what is causing the problem. You have to change that setting.
And he has a
How do I do that?
blur.
How do I do that?
I have no idea.
If you go to that where the video icon is there, Edji, there you'll see a setting called blur my background. That might
Yeah,
be
I just undid it, and it didn't help much.
Yeah, that's the sunlight behind.
It did help.
Okay. Call me a liar. How do you feel today? Check yourselves. How do you feel? Check your chest, your shoulders, your neck, mid back, lower back, the ass bone, legs, calves. Is there tension there? You try to relax that tension. When you get fully relaxed, your intention is everywhere, inside and out. And it's so much easier to do almost everything. The focus on attention or blocking, actually, tension in your neck and shoulders, back, can become a constant annoyance and a distraction from anything you're trying to do when it comes to studying or feeling your body. And when you can, get rid of all tension in your body. And you've managed to do it after years of putting up with it. and putting up with the distraction that trying to relax that area creates. When all of that is gone, your meditation can really increase in power and depth. Unless, of course, there are two cats that are distracting you. I welcome my cat's distractions because I love them so much. I just like to watch them. So they distract me just by living. Eric has especially cute kittens there. I love you all. I'm glad you came. When you can relax totally, you can begin some really deep meditations, almost without thinking about it. There's no distractions. BJ, is that a fire behind you in that photo?
There are clouds.
Really?
Yeah, I'm on the top of the mountain.
Somebody says clean the camera lens. Well, it's a tiny, tiny camera on the top of my computer. Let's see if that's the same. Shoot that theory down. I mean, the camera lens is only about that thick. So how dirty can it get? I know most of you must spend a good deal of time trying to create an environment that is conducive to disappearing into yourself instead of being the focus of attention to activities you think are necessary for your day. But at this point in my life, I'm responsible for nothing except coming here twice a week for satsang. I've given up the idea of writing another book because words are such bullshit. No matter how carefully I say what I think, it won't necessarily translate to another person. All that I can say is when your body's totally relaxed, everything is easier. Meditation is easier. There's no distractions. Anything requiring concentration is easier. No distractions. But the ease increases the less and less distracted you are from having your attention on your own self rather than shit in the environment that's bothering you. Get to know your own body. but to feel what it's like. Feel your feet, your calves, your legs. Is there any place that you feel energy running or a blockage? Feel your back, your neck, your shoulders. For me, the neck and shoulders were where the last bits of tension lay. One day, not too long ago, maybe 3 years, I checked and there was no tension anywhere in my body that I could find. And it was quite a miraculous discovery, because I've been looking inside of myself and feeling inside of myself for over half a century. And to have a day when you realize there's no tension in your body anymore or in your mind, it gives you a tremendous kick and sense of freedom. Is there anyone that feels they're tension-free in their body? And how many feel free in their mind? Good. Good that some of you do. It is the most meaningful intermediary stage towards really complete self-realization, when the distractions are gone and you can dive in yourself and have your attention everywhere in your body. Because spirituality is about, at least my kind, paying attention to yourself instead of the environment. Don't worry about your job and your boss. Don't worry about your husband or wife and the problems you have in your relationship. To be able to lose the tension from those things lasts. If you can do it even for a while, it's a great marker for improvement in your sitting. But sitting alone is not enlightenment, nor does it bring enlightenment. It's the attention you put on yourself. You want to be able to either lose the possessive power of the environment on you, on your mind, on your attention, and to begin to look at yourself only and how you respond to the environment. You're becoming autonomous this way from the environment, and you become the center of your own path, being aware of your body and your mind both. It's when you can do this that the various sort of miracles of concentration manifest in various states, deeper and deeper. But even the deepest state is still happening to you now. You're still in the same place. And what is that state telling you? You should ask yourself after you've experienced and it goes away. What's it trying to tell you? I've always been very aware of the tension in my upper back, way from days when I was rather young, because I spent my youth and early adulthood doing weightlifting. Weightlifting, bench pressing over 400 pounds, doing some massive weights. I could have killed myself weightlifting. It's kind of dangerous when you're just using free weights compared with machines. And it also puts all of your attention on the muscles of your body rather than the inner sensations or the sensations of the muscles after they started relaxing. I mean, weightlifting, after I finished, always made me feel wonderful in the sense of having a body that was pumped up, full of blood, full of exercise, a lot of energy, and saying yes to life. But over the years, I spent too much time in quiet meditation, sitting meditation, wondering about what it was getting me, and reading books about the great ones. And seeing that the great ones had a lot of things not in common with each other. Some of the great ones acted like assholes. Some of the great ones, we did things we'd never dream of doing ourselves because we would think it's outside of the bonds of civilized behaviors. But to be able to explore your own body and find no tension there is a real hoot. Is it a hoot for you, Mark? Do you want to tell us about your hootness? I know you're never afraid to offer a response or even to initiate it.
Well, I mean, I've already said so many things. I don't know how much more there is left to wring out of that lemon of goodness.
Just summarize it.
Well, as I said a while ago, I'm much calmer than I used to be. And calmness has many facets. It's not a simple thing. There's calmness of the body. There's calmness of my attitude. There's calmness of, just about every facet of what we are. And multidimensional calmness where I just disappear into nothing, and there is no center, and I'm at peace, much of the time, and I'm in very strong bliss quite a lot of my time, not, maybe a couple hours a day on average. So, things are good. And I look forward to deepening further, which I remember about half a year ago, you said you were focused on that last little bit of relaxation that was eluding you, that you were focusing on. I understand where that's coming from, because I reach states now where that are more profound than before, and it's hard to describe, but like the feeling of comfort and euphoria in the body and in the nerves and in the tissues, and just overall is deeper than I remember it being in the past very frequently. So I'm deepening along with deepening. So that's all I really have to say on that at the moment, Edji.
Are your activities decreasing also?
Yes.
Because you enjoy sitting more and more?
Yes. And because I'm an insomniac, I spend part of my time lying in bed, trying to sleep but not sleeping. So that counts as meditation time too. So just in on the way to sleep but not able to sleep, I'd say at least 2 hours a day doing that. Because I actually look at my insomnia as a not just as a negative, but as having some positives too in this, because it allows me to go very close to sleep and not fall asleep. So falling asleep, of course, would stop it. So I'm able to maintain that for long periods of time. And my insomnia is somewhat better than it used to be. It's still a problem, but I attribute it to the deepening and the relaxing and my practice. And also, along with all that, is my attitude is very lax and very carefree and very without presumption, I would say. Without presumptive ideas or expectations, just open to what's happening.
I think it's incumbent upon us at this time, the rest of us, to hurl insults at Mark and see how well he tolerates them. Whether it breaks up his smile and he starts shivering and, anybody want to throw an insult at Mark?
What an asshole that Mark is, I tell you. He's so full of himself.
I think I can tell that Mark can't take insults very well. And he's not defending by the moment you say something.
Say that again, the last sentence.
He starts defending himself or whatever the moment you say anything to him. He can't take, if you say that you're not great. Or you can't say, he can't take it if you say that you don't know much, something like that.
So if you say to Mark, I think you're an asshole, you've overblown your own attainment, and you're trying to fool others into thinking that you're really hot shit. Is that what you're saying, BJ?
Similar to that, yes. But not today, like in the conversation.
Ian, how are you doing?
In this moment, Ed, very, very well. Beautiful. Just
I can see the really big changes in you in the last couple of years.
oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. yeah, I'm just not seeing Ian as a solid entity anymore. I'm just seeing Ian as an energetic field and recognizing that everything is the same energetic field, and it's incredible. It just gets bigger and bigger, and of course I go straight back into
What?
and I have moments of extreme perceptual bullshit too, but I'm having more and more experiences of just being. The only way I describe it, I am the field. I'm not a focused entity called Ian. And in those moments, it's so beautiful. The bliss is closer to the surface now and more accessible. So yeah, it's incredible. And it reflects in my daily life in so many ways. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Selena, could you relax a little more? You can't say that to Michael because he's hidden. Chris is doing beautifully. So is Bernadette. The emails they write about what they experience are really incredible sometimes. What about you, Tom?
I'm glad to be back in the meeting again. I started a new medication over a month ago. It made me quite ill. That's been changed. It's free of those. I'm free of those unintended side effects. So I'm delighted to be here today.
I don't understand a word you're saying.
I'll try again. I started a new medication a couple of months ago. It made me very ill. It's been changed now. I'm feeling better.
I can see that. You've changed somewhat.
That's what folks have been telling me. Feels the same on the inside. I'm just pleased to be here.
Good.
Thank you. I appreciate you creating this space for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really, your life changes when you can sit effortlessly and not be disturbed by your body or your mind. You begin to see all different kinds of things about yourself, about the body, about your mind and your consciousness, especially when you make the transition from being aware of things inside of you or outside. And instead, just focus on your own beingness. By beingness, I mean that sense that pervades your body, that you're an existing human being. It's always there in the background. Most people miss it entirely because they think it's trivial or they're not able to isolate it. But meditation on your beingness is a very deep meditation. You sit still and you look and feel around inside your body. You look for what you perceive. And when you get to the place, and when you perceive your body, there's no tension there anywhere. And your attention and energies can go anywhere because they're not blocked. Then even just brief sitting for 15 or 20 minutes can make your day and bring you rest. It is really important to get to the place where you can watch the mind and it no longer dominates you. You don't have to wrestle with it. Instead, where you are now, as a sentient being, and you can watch yourself, watch your own beingness, really understand what I mean by beingness. The rest inside becomes even deeper until you freeze solid. And you don't even breathe sometimes for a long while because you're absorbed in your own self. And your own self loves to be absorbed in itself alone. And you're able to see that your body is not you, your mind is not you, your emotions are not you, that they sort of come to you. And now that you don't identify with being a person working on a job, having a family, etc., instead, on the totality of the sensations, both within and without, you get to a very profound resting place that you've never experienced before in your body. And then you can begin to be aware of your non-restless body and non-restless mind. And that alone is great freedom. But you begin to see that language and ideas are really traps that enfold most everyone but you in that state. Everyone else is preoccupied with their body, their family, maybe their country. And they spend all the time thinking about what ruinous things can be happening to them in the near future. Fear, worry dominates their lives, even when they feel relaxed, because the relaxation doesn't last long. And they think about, when is the tension going to start again? The tension they felt for many, many years. However, there's a kind of tension that starts from having two kittens playing on top of you too. But it's such a delightful experience that you feel happiness, a kind of thrillingness going through your whole body, especially your heart, your chest, and your gut. To feel those little life forms that are alive just like you. They have their own life to live just like you. But the kittens seem to live very lightly and not pondered down by too many years of pain, worry, not getting fed, or being injured. You can watch a feral cat relax after it's left a feral environment and gotten in a house. And you've done this early enough that the kitten can become the kitten of your dreams, the love of your life, where you can stare into his or her eyes and they stare at you right back. And you feel such a deep bond in your gut, like you've never felt somebody touching you before, deeply in the heart and in the gut, your whole body. Your life is so simple then, meditating like that. And when you get used to it, those rare experiences come all the time. For a long while, before they begin to leave too. For years, I experienced energies inside of myself, dancing around, cavorting, so to speak. And I'd watch them, I'd feel them. But now when I feel, I don't feel them anymore. They don't light up my life like they used to. And I'm far more relaxed now because I don't even have to pay attention to them. I can just rest in myself. And then for the first time in your life, you'll know what it means really the deepest way to rest in yourself. Rest in yourself. Not being concerned about the external world or what happens in it. Not being concerned about whether you're going to pass those tests or not. Not being concerned whether that guy you just met or that girl you just met is attracted to you or not. Because inside of yourself, you've reached a state of equanimity that's not easily disturbed. If that person doesn't turn out to engage you on that level or depth inside of yourself, don't worry, because somebody else will come along. I can touch you in those deep places and you touch them. where your life is so always focused on yourself, and you can watch them feel focused on themselves within your perceptual field. And it helps you to see this ability of a person to love and worship another. It gives you guidance. Your ability to throw yourself at a spiritual teacher. It's a great benefit to have someone who can guide you as a teacher. Not like learning how to fence or box with all the activity there, saying do this before you do that, etc. Because always that is with the motive, trying to work out the motive of winning. When you don't care anymore to change things in the external world, it's so much easier to live in the external world. Just relax. Fall into yourself. That's what it feels like at first, is to fall backwards into yourself. Be aware of yourself in the background of that who is looking around. There is a buried looker which you can fall back into and become the looker, become the feeler, become the hearer. And it's really interesting to try to look around in yourself to find out where that center is that seems to coordinate everything inside of you, and to dwell on that level of making a decision without being aware of any decision maker, yet just aware of the emptiness out of which the decision came. And then to look into that emptiness to see if you can find what the mechanics are of making decisions at this deep, deep, deep level of self-investigation. Because more and more you lose the focus you have on the external world and yourself in everyday life by being an ordinary person. And by that I mean one that doesn't put him or herself before everything else and takes yourself as the measure of all things. When you get to the place where you're just comfortable doing nothing, what a relief. I remember Robert was always comfortable doing nothing, but he always exercised in the park. He was walking around and he'd stop and do push-ups or sit-ups, although I never saw him do a sit-up. But he deliberately did effort to maintain his body, not because he was driven to it by a nervousness or restless inside of himself. He probably really didn't want to exercise. He'd much rather do nothing. But he knows that he knew that he had to do it in order to preserve his ever-weakening body that was being racked by this disease. Parkinson's. It became quite a feat to be sitting in satsang and understanding him as he talked, because his condition worsened each year that I knew him. And by 1995, he was practically unintelligible. He really disliked having Parkinson's. Parkinson's at that time was thought to be about a certain area in the brain that deteriorated. So he kept joking with me that, Ed, I need your brain. He wanted a brain transplant so he could be able to walk and talk better. Eddie, I want your brain. Ian, I want your brain. I always just laughed it off. What could I say? Sure, you can have my brain. Watching your kittens, Eric, is a real trip. I love them. They look like they're about 5 months old. Maybe 6 months, 5 months. Three. Wow. They're going to be humongous when they grow up. As you can see, they're not meditators. But they are completely themselves. I love this show. Selena, can you see the pack cats playing? Selena's gone to sleep. In Eric Wells' picture.
I'm watching the kittens too.
Did you see Eric's kitties playing?
Yeah, they're great. They're really, really interesting.
Did your two cats do that too earlier?
Yeah, they did, but that was like 4 years ago.
Raju, how have you been doing?
Good. I'm doing.
What'd you say?
I'm good at.
Don't talk too much, your voice box will break. What's the longest conversation you have with people? One word?
No, sir. No, I'm still coming out of my.
Okay.
That's why I didn't have much words. I had a little bit of break. I have an infant, so it's been a little challenging. So I couldn't get much time to go deeper into it.
Okay, go back. Go back inside. Feel your body. Is there tension anywhere? If there is, focus on that. My understanding was that all the diversions that we have tend to separate us from experiencing our body. We're more focused on the outside, watching kittens. Although that's probably the highest form of meditation, is to watch kittens. But generally, focus on the outside brings contraction and a little bit of pain that can increase the more distracted you are. Let go of everything. Jay, get out of your mind and just sink into your body. Just sink. Feel all the tension. Just throw it off. Go deep within yourself. Dive into your own body. Close your eyes and dive into your body. And try to go all the way through your chest and your gut into your butt. Be able to move your attention anywhere within your own body. Become very self-aware in that way. Even when you're walking, be aware of yourself as an entity. And after a while, you'll begin to be aware of your own beingness, that feeling, that experience. Of feeling yourself and what it's like to be immersed in your own self. And how delicious it feels to be immersed in your own self. And if you can't be immersed in yourself, watch the kittens. They'll make you so happy, you won't care whether you're immersed in yourself or not. But you can't just do nothing. Because just doing nothing without attention doesn't help you at all. Feeling what your body feels like. When there's no anxiety whatsoever anywhere. It's a very liberating experience. Before that, feeling the tension in various areas of the body is really a very valuable phase to go through, because it's the beginning of understanding yourself or experiencing yourself. Be aware of yourself. Be aware that all the others around you have some kind of distractions like you do, to prevent you from just being in yourself, dwelling as yourself. Living life from the very ground floor. Basement of your being. Resting in yourself as yourself. When your attention spreads equally throughout your whole body, and you really don't feel like leaving that behind to go out into the world, you've reached a place of anchoring in nothingness, the nothingness of beingness. It leaves you feeling immensely happy at all times. There's nothing left to do. You are okay just being alive. Dive deep into yourself. Get away from the world. Feel your stomach, especially if it's churning, sour. Make it a meditation object. Be especially attentive to your sense of being, which develops over time as you eliminate more and more of your dwelling in the world and realize more the dwelling in your own self. Because then beingness really becomes the primary sensation in you. Your own life force. And how it's twisted around every part of your body. And to just follow it. When your air conditioner comes on, as mine does kind of frequently in Arizona, you hear the pounding of the machinery and the whoosh of the wind it creates. Focus on that. It's a good object to focus on. Or you watch yourself, or you begin to understand what it's like to be you. If I asked you 5 years ago, and I asked you, what is it like to be you? You probably couldn't tell me. Jeff is the busiest meditator I've ever seen. He even takes phone calls in the middle of satsang. Sultanat, how are you?
sometimes I relax, sometimes I distract my mind. Sometimes it's difficult.
Sometimes what is difficult? Sitting and watching yourself?
Yes, I feel my body and my heart is different. It's a body different. My body is relaxed, but not my head. Yeah.
Well, lock your head off. Get rid of your head. Just fall into your body. Imagine yourself dropping in your body from the throat down to your heart, down to your stomach, down into your pelvis. Just become you and you alone. It's really important to get away from reading books. Because they can tend to get pretty theoretical or else dogmatic about what you should do with your mind in meditation. After you've been aware of your body for a long time, you can let go of that as an object of meditation. And instead, just become nothing and do nothing. Jay, can you take over?
Sure. Yeah. I'll transition to Mark probably, but sure. I don't know how to shift the host, so because you need to do that, otherwise, the last time you pulled the plug on us.
I noticed after it did it.
Well, you not to cast aspersions, God forbid.
Okay, take over. I love you all.
Love you,
Just
Mark.
keep up that internalization. Be aware of yourself. Be aware of yourself. Find out who's aware of yourself. Bye-bye. Sign, leave, okay.
You gotta give it, you have to reassign it, otherwise you can't leave. Mark, I don't know, you have to intercede on this, because he's got to change the host.
Done it before. You've done it before, Edgy. Not on the iPad, though, right? The iPad is trickier because the menus are all bunched together and they're easier to be easy in this.
I don't know. Wednesday, apparently, we got good nighted without, who knows.
Some of us came back.
Okay, I can't find Jay on here, so I'm going to turn it over to Mark.
Yay.
And all of a sudden, Mark disappeared too.
Look, I can't find Jay on here either, so we're in the same.
Recording stopped.
He left.
We figured it out.